Hi, this is Marty with Skincare Science, and welcome back for another video. All right, so in this video, I have an email in my hand. I was speaking to an individual online, and he had questions about acne, and I said, well, why don't you go ahead and send me a couple of pictures, and I'll look at your face, look at your skin, and I'll do a video on it. But I also asked via email some questions, and I never give first or last names or anything when I do these, but I email the person and let them know the video is done, and this is basically it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the pictures right now so you can see the person. Obviously I blacked out the eyes, but we'll see the acne condition, so let's take a look right now. So welcome back. So we see the pictures, and obviously there's a little bit of scarring, and I'm not looking at the pictures right now, so this is just based off of memory. There's a couple things that you're going to notice about his skin, and it's kind of interesting. Well, first of all, he's not a picker, which is fantastic. And the other thing is he's got visible scarring on the cheeks, but nothing going on the forehead. But the blemishes on the forehead are rather large. So that actually surprises me that he's not a picker, and because normally when that's the case, you have someone who tends to pick and induce more inflammation. With the larger, blemishes, that normally is going to create someone that's going to pick and or induce picking, and this is going to induce inflammation and also a more severe case of the acne condition. All right, so let's go ahead and look at, I'm going to go ahead and read these, and again, I don't have my glasses on, so it's always a little bit difficult for me to do this, but the individual's 20, he doesn't eat any sodas, he does consume dairy, and he's drinking milk. Carbohydrate intake is really high. I'm bulking. Oh, so he's a weightlifter. Yes, I do. I work out 6 days a week. Okay. Are you taking any anabolics? Because if you are, then there's really no point for this video. Okay. Or at all. Now, I'm going to assume based on your size that you're not doing that, because you'd be a lot bigger and there would be more. You would be concerned about acne on your back and other parts of your body. Okay, not just on your face. All right, but your routine glycolic acid based cleanser currently, sometimes twice to 3 times, depending on what environment I was in. Recommended by doctor along with my medication. I use sunscreen twice a day when I go out, and that's it. Okay. Medication, okay, antibiotics 6 months ago, erythromycin, 500 milligrams for 1 month, 3 times a week. After my prescription was over, I saw huge difference. Skin was almost cleared up. While on antibiotics, I wasn't consuming any dairy for the 1.5 months. Later, I introduced the isolate to my diet because it had a really bad recovery with pea protein. I'm vegetarian, that's why I have to rely on protein. Okay, and with it, acne came back a few days ago, added back milk to my diet as well. I stopped drinking start of the year to minimize my dairy consumption because I thought there was a point I'm not drinking it. Still consuming dairy by way isolate and its calories, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right, okay, all right. So here we go, all right. Your main focus is working out. Your main focus is bulking, and that's what's creating all these problems. All right, here's what I want you to do. And again, all right. I want you to cut out, I want you to go back to what was working in your diet. Forget the bulking, forget the working out. That's not what's important right now. What you need to do is go back to what was working with regards to your diet, and then figure out a way to bring in enough protein. Now, I will touch on this for a second, okay? Not everyone knows this, but I got dunked, which is the only way to measure body fat, at 5.5%. This goes back a few years ago, but I was absolutely shredded, okay? So I'm not a vegetarian, so this individual is gonna have a problem getting his protein intake to get the bodybuilding side of his life in order. So back to the acne. I want you to go back and stop thinking about bulking and concentrate on your diet and what was working. get your face in order, then worry about your diet. I will say this, go for lean, okay, and don't go for bulking. Just stay in lean mode while you're going through this and don't try to create muscle mass. Go for lean, all right? You can't bulk and lean at the same time unless you're on anabolics, and even then it's very difficult, okay? And that's a bodybuilding thing we don't need to get into, but this individual knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. The benzoyl peroxide, last time my subscription ended because I almost had no acne at the end of it. I'm not using it currently. Okay. If you had success with 5% benzoyl peroxide, that's medication. That's a prescribed only. I think you can only get like, what, 2% over the counter. So go back to that, all right? And then as it relates to the glycolic acid and the sunscreen, okay. The SPF that you're using twice a day is inflaming your skin. Okay, I'd like to see you get off of that. I'd also like to see you dilute the glycolic acid. I'm not sure what percentage it is because it doesn't say, and I don't know what pH it is. Those are two very important things. So I'd like to see you dilute the glycolic acid, stop thinning the stratum corneum, which is why you're using the SPF to protect yourself. So let your stratum corneum build up again, give you that protection, and maybe even, if you can, get off the glycolic acid and go with salicylic, okay? So there's a little bit of confusion there, so let's do this. First, remove the glycolic acid, go with salicylic acid. Okay. If you can't do that, go with glycolic acid, thin it down with more water, so therefore you're letting your stratum corneum build up and you're not using that high of a strength of glycolic acid. All right. One more thing, I have never used a moisturizer before in my life because I thought I have very oily skin and moist top of it, going to make it worse. However, I should learn that it does not work like that. I should, okay. Moisturizer, okay. CeraVe, okay. If you can, find a moisturizer that's either lotion or cream that's very non-oily, of course, or maybe go with a serum, okay? A lot of acne patients or clients like to use serums to moisturize, and it's not overall like a lotion or a cream, but it does the job and it gives them the feeling that they're not adding oil, which is good, and that it also does give the skin some moisture. And that's the point you're trying to make, and that is correct. You've done your research, you've done your reading, and yes, if you over dry the skin's going to overproduce, and blah blah blah. You get the roundabout circle that you're going to be in. Okay, so this is really simple. I hope I've explained it. Just to recap, forget bulking, forget the diet for bodybuilding. Forget getting your macros and your protein and your carbohydrates and all that for bulking, and forget that. We're talking about your face. That's the main thing. And I want you to go back to what was working, cut out the dairy, reduce your carbohydrates. Oh, and by the way, when you're bulking and you need the carbohydrates to bulk and get yourself in the gym for the energy, those carbohydrates, when they're going in your body, is creating an alkaline environment instead of an acidic environment, which is creating more acne. When you consume carbohydrates, your body, let's just call it, just goes into chaos. It just does. Okay. So if those are simple carbohydrates and not very complex ones, and you're not eating other food to minimize the absorption of the carbohydrates, your body is going to go into overproduction, and the pancreas is going to go nuts. It's going to create an alkaline environment in your body, and that is what you see when you have acne, an alkaline environment, because the bacteria is allowed to live in an alkaline environment instead of the acidic environment. Okay, so the consumption of carbohydrates to bulk energy in the gym is causing your problem, along with the dairy, along with you trying to get your protein for a bulking situation or a bodybuilding situation, and that is messing up your face. Okay, so anyway, I hope that I did a good job. I think I repeated myself a couple of times. I'm just trying to be very clear, and questions or comments. And this individual, I'm sure I'll hear by email, so I'll go ahead and help him afterward. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching. This is Marty with Skincare Science, and we'll see you in the next video. You should be using cold pack, okay? And if you cold pack for inflammation, okay, to reduce the inflammation within your skin. Use peas, frozen peas. Get those little spongy cooler packs that don't get hard. That'll be really, really good. And then also, at a certain point, when you have the blemishes that you do, you might want to go to a professional and have her. I don't know. I don't want to say extractions because I don't agree with extractions, but there comes a point in time when they're okay. And what you might want to do is if you have a whitehead, that bacteria can be removed. Do not press the skin, do not do anything. Just go ahead and kind of lance the top of it and then use alcohol, don't squeeze it, and then just go to bed. If you lance that little layer of skin that's over the blemish and then put some alcohol on it and don't squeeze your skin at all, the body will, excavate, is that the right word? I think so. And do a job for you. When you wake up in the morning, it might be even larger, but the skin will, through that process of taking off that just lancing it a little bit, will allow it to come up and out. So never squeeze it. Don't do that because you're just forcing bacteria in and you can't get it at the right angle and it's just bad. Okay, so I hope that helps, and I've done videos on that, so you can take a look at that in other videos I've done with regards to extractions. And yep. So this is Marty with Skincare Science, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.